Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor is a book about injustice and discrimination in finding independence. It was published in 1976 and won a Newbery Medal in 1977. Mildred D. Taylor, the author of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, based the two main characters off of her own great-grandparents. Her great-grandmother, who worked at a rural community school, is the basis for her character Mama, or Mary Logan. Her great-grandfather, who for many years worked away from home on the railroad, is the basis for her character Papa, or David Logan. Both of her great-grandparents were born into slavery, and this is where she got her inspiration from. With the book being set in the years 1933 and 1934, these years in American history had been the turning point of the Great Depression. Unemployment was decreasing down to 22%. In 1933 and in 1934, the U.S. Midwest had also been experiencing a water drought. With the drought utterly destroying some 35 million acres of farmland and roughly 225 million more at risk, the president set up a public works system to build bridges, roads, railroads, and flood control dams in an attempt to put America back on its feet. In Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, we follow the Logan family. The Logan family and their community represents independence. They represent independence because they own their own land and are able to make decisions such as where to shop and where to get credit from. Around them live sharecroppers like the one shown in this picture. They don't have the independence that the Logans do because they do have to give half of their earnings to their landlord. In this book, we can see that it can make a connection back to the Civil War, which occurred in 1861 through 1865. The connection that can be thought of between the Civil War and between Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry is freedom. Known as America's bloodiest war, the Civil War pitted the Union, the northern U.S. states, against the Confederate States of America, the southern U.S. states, and resulted in the death of more than 620,000 men, with millions more injured. When we think of the Civil War, we can think of one word: freedom. Freedom from slavery, freedom from unequal treatment of African Americans, and freedom from the chains that bind them to depending on other people. When we think of the Civil War, and we think of it in relation to Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, we think of unfinished. Although a war was fought and slavery is outlawed, the unjust for the African American people in the South is still resumed, but in a different manner.
The Civil War was fought between the Union States and the Confederate States. In Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, there was a war being fought between the Logans and many of the characters. One group of characters was the Wallace family. The Wallace family runs a general store on Harlan Granger's land, but they are violent and brutal people. They were accused of burning the home of the Berry family, and this is one of the many reasons why Mama led a blockade for the people around to not go into the Wallace's general store anymore. There was also Mr. Granger, a rich plantation owner who was anxious to buy back the Logans' land. The Logans family fought really hard and made changes to the lease of the land in order for Mr. Granger to not take it. Then there is the Sims brothers. The older Sims brothers, Melvin and R.W. Sims, were trouble. They pretended to befriend TJ and made fun of him behind his back. TJ is not from the Logan family directly, but he is pretty close to them, so this brought effect to the Logan family as well. The most often cited official date of the end of the Civil War is April 9, 1865, when General Robert E. Lee surrendered the Army of Northern Virginia at the McLean House in the village of Appomattox Courthouse. There were battles and skirmishes after this date, but this is generally considered the official end of the Civil War. At the end of Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry, the Logan family loses their land to a fire that was started by Papa in order to distract the persecutors from hanging their friends, but it was led to believe by the end of the story that they might lose TJ, as well as their land, because of the altercation that he had with the Sims brothers. Even though all of this happened, the Logan's family did not once surrender because they decided it was best to stick together.